Hello and welcome back. This is Nom Nom, and we are once again in Oxygen Not Included. I had a little bit of a break there. I had some time off and I was away from my computer for a while. But out of the laboratory and back into the Aridio Mark III map with oppressive heat. It's still very warm here, but I actually lost a video that I recorded before my hiatus. So I'm going to do a quick summary of where we're at on the base. Yeah, so here we go, panning out. We're in the middle of the great plasticking. We are converting a bunch of our ladders into plastic ladders. We had 37 tons of plastic. We now have 28 tons of plastic. So we're applying 10 tons of plastic to ladders throughout the base. Some of them I have not queued up yet and still need to, like this one here. So I'm sure I'll find several well-used ladders that need to be updated, and we'll get to those when we find them. Let's see what else. I had been working on the power grid, and I have this heavy watt wire snaking throughout my base, coming from what was my original power production room over here, and then going up into this area here where I have this petroleum generator that's running off of ethanol, and then going over here where I had my steam engines. But I have since steam turbines. I have since run that line up and back over into this like really negative decor corridor here that is not used by my dupes, so it's fairly safe to have it as ugly as it is. And I rewired a bunch of this stuff over here to remove my dependence on these hydrogen generators. They actually were running out of power. I wasn't producing enough hydrogen for all the stuff that I had wired onto them. And as you can see, you know, this here is quite a demand. They're self-powering, but I was asking a lot more of them than this oxygen system was able to provide. We had this oxygen system over here also on the same grid, and it is now running off of my main trunk over here. As you can see, this conductive wire connects over here to my main trunk, and it's now powering that second oxygen system. So this first oxygen system is being powered off of these two hydrogen generators, but I actually don't need those two hydrogen generators anymore because I moved them up here where I can actually tune them up with this power control station. I put them in this power room, power plant here. So that hasn't been wired in though. Right now that's just powering my hydrogen compression, and as you can see we have 120 kilograms, 130 kilograms of hydrogen crammed into these like 8 tiles right here. Also working on some decor. I mean, clearly this decor is going to be really low over here with all this heavy watt wire, but I have a bunch of statues like this beautiful mushroom. I have a bunch of statues that I have queued up. In fact, I think, yeah, there's some here they're working on. Just trying to bring up decor values a bit in the base. This is pretty much a lost cause area over here with the heavy watt wire, but I figured I can make it better than it was, so going ahead with that. Let's see what else. Plastic production, this is where it's happening right here. I'm just cranking out the plastic. This farm is working amazing. It's cooled by these two Weezeworts. These guys have been chugging along. I don't know if they'll show me their age or not. Age unknown. How about this tile right here? Age unknown. Alright, well, anyways, these two Weezeworts have been doing a great job. If you recall, in my early game, I had this thermoregulator going to help cool down the farm. But once I got it down to temp, these two guys took over. And you can see they're cooling down over here my mealwood to feed my glossy Drecos. The glossy Drecos are going back up here into the hydrogen and growing their scales. So that is where I'm getting, there's 9 tons of plastic there, 8 tons of plastic there. So that's where I'm getting all my plastic from. This is my overflow room. I get too many Drecos, they end up down here. They get sheared and they may or may not go up here into the hydrogen, but it gets them out of this room over here. Drecos, when they die, provide a great deal of food, and their eggs also produce a great deal of food if I'm not hatching them. Speaking of food, fried mushrooms and mushroom wraps are the order of the day. Mushroom wraps are used with lettuce. And we have down here very little bit of lettuce actually being produced. I have like one row of lettuce, not even. We have 3 lettuce plants there maybe. Yeah, there's a waterweed seeder here, but I had a pip down here to plant them, and I think there was an egg down here, and the poke shell defending their egg killed the pip before he was able to finish planting down here. But maybe I could get another one down here eventually, maybe a sweeper to keep the eggs out of this room. All right, what else have we got? We've got this polluted water vent, which has been producing oil for us. So much oil. I mean, this whole area here is just completely filled with oil. So much so that I've compressed my carbon dioxide down here to 14 kilograms of pressure. I've got, 18.6 kilograms of natural gas here. But I've also got this compressor over here, which has got 626 kilograms of natural gas. It's not in that many tiles. It's maybe 16 tiles. How big is this room? 22 tiles. So, I mean, it's a lot of gas, but I got it smooshed into a very small space. And over here, I've got 7 kilograms. Actually, this one's about to run out because this guy's dormant here. He just came out of dormancy. So, yeah. My power demands have definitely gone up. And if this thing ever does run out of natural gas, it will cut over here. And this 626 kilograms will start popping out. And then if that ever runs out, then this natural gas we've got down here will kick in. Now, this isn't that much, but it is what it is down there for reserves. And then I have found up here, where it is, here it is, another natural gas geyser. So that's yet another natural gas source for us. I was also thinking that this area right here, this big area here, and maybe the area next to it, would be a good area for a sour gas boiler and another generator room. I did try putting a station over here. What is that thing called? Power tune-up, power control station. And I don't think power control stations work with steam turbines. And also these steam turbines run so infrequently that I don't think it was worth the time and effort to try and keep the steam turbines tuned up. All right, this guy right here, this giant tank of negative 20 degree ethanol, is my main radiator now in my base. So I have this gas pipe with hydrogen in it circulating down here, keeping the area down here from getting too hot. Now it's hot. It's 50, 60 degrees down here. At this pipe, it's coming out of here at 44. I'm sorry, coming in here at 44, coming out of here at 30. So it's exchanging quite a bit of heat in there. This area is coming down in temperature slowly. The fact that it's doing this slow crawl right now, I have one too many squares. I just need to deconstruct a single pipe and then reconstruct it. I think that would take care of it. The other thing I could do, and in fact I'll just do this because it's a little cleaner. I will do another gas bridge. Whoa, I will do another gas bridge right here, and then I'll just connect the pipe like that. And that should take care of it. Should run smoothly after that. So I have another loop here that is coming in at 39 and coming out at 31. And that was cooling off my steam engine so that I never had them over 100 degrees. That's sort of a moot point now because, oh, one more thing. I have a farm right here, and it's a very cold farm. This is a nosh sprout. It's actually my first nosh sprout. I was finally able to get a nosh bean planted in here. Nosh beans, oh, you need to die. He's going to eat my nosh bean. The nosh beans, oh, you better not eat my nosh bean. Seriously? Alright, hang on. Attack, priority 9. Gotta kill this guy. All right. Anyways, the nosh beans require 0 to minus 25 degrees to grow. I honestly don't know if the Drecos will eat nosh beans, but let's find out. He will not eat a nosh bean. All right, fine, you can live. You made me nervous. 0 degrees to minus 25 degrees to grow. So I have this small farm. I only had one nosh sprout bean. I don't even know where I got it from. I think I remember digging it up early in the game, and maybe this is the only one that didn't spoil on me or something. I don't even know, but I had a single nosh sprout. I've planted it. Hopefully I'll get a seed out of it. I was actually about to drop a farm station down here. I had just sort of extended this farm enough to be able to put a farm station down here. So this will actually become a farm, and I'll get the growth buff, and hopefully one of my farmers will get a seed out of that nosh sprout for me. You see my aqua tuner has taken some damage. That was early on before I had it completely soaked in oil or crude oil, or maybe I piped in crude oil that was too hot. I don't remember what happened there. But anyways, I'm never going to go in and repair that. It is made out of steel. It's going to be fine. Oh, where was I going with this? So this last bit here, I have these granite tiles inside my radiator. And these granite tiles are the last part of my cooling loop. So I have a loop of ethanol here coming in at 27 degrees, coming out at 23 degrees. Now this actually started at almost 70 degrees. So I actually heated up my base a little bit before I started cooling it down, because I was piping 70-degree ethanol through this, and it came out at like 65 or 67 or something like that, and then did a loop around the base. And now every time it's looping around the base, it's been cooling down. So like I said, we're coming out now here at 23, and this is a giant radiator loop going all the way around the base as such. It's not cold by any stretch yet, but it's definitely going to help in bringing down the temperatures inside the base. I only have one radiant pipe on the entire stretch. Game save is going to take a second. I only have one radiant pipe on the whole stretch, and that's right here. And I thought it would behoove me to cool down this area with all these transformers and my oxygen production sort of as a priority above cooling down other things. As you can see now, the temperature over in this area is 28, but down here it's like 45. So it's definitely cooling down, although it's not cool. If you have followed my my YouTube channel at all, you've probably saw my experiment on my ethanol chiller, and this is it. It's the phase change ethanol cooler. So this is a self-cooling cooling loop. I brought in ethanol that was too hot at the beginning, so I actually had a second thermoregulator to sort of jumpstart the system. But once I got this below 60 degrees, it was off and running on its own. You see this one here is at 79 degrees. That's actually too hot to condense the ethanol. So I might have to use this thing again. It just, like I said, I brought in the ethanol at like 70 degrees, and it was too hot. And by the time the ethanol turned into a gas for the first time, this was still not cool enough. Didn't have enough cool mass to make the ethanol precipitate. So I will go ahead and turn this thing on again. I'll just say 0. If it's above 0 degrees, turn on. So this will run again for a while. Now this is, of course, dumping heat right into my base. But once I get these things up and running, I won't need this anymore, and they'll add ample cooling potential to my base here. And I've got that going as a loop just sort of around some of my living space and through this power room originally, but now also hopefully they'll catch some cooling from this. In fact, yeah, these are producing quite a bit of heat, all these transformers and power items in here, so this cooling loop is under some strain, but it should be able to do the job once I get these cooling properly with the chilled ethanol. I can actually tell this to stop running for a little bit, say 45. I can even just say 50. That'll stop running, which will let energy cool up. Leave the system so that it can sit and be cooling again. Once I start seeing ethanol condensed in this side, I can go ahead and turn it back on. Again, this was one of the warnings that I gave during my experiment, was if you start with hot ethanol, you're going to run into problems. So, and just to take a quick look at this, this loop is just cooling itself and the other thermal heat sink. The ethanol turns into a gas, hits this cold tile, turns into a liquid. In doing so, it loses specific heat capacity and effectively deleting heat from the game. And every time it turns from a gas to a liquid, we're deleting heat. Problem here is that if it's too hot, it doesn't condense the ethanol back into a liquid. So that's where I am with that. Actually, I'm not sure what happened here. Oh, it's probably from when I added the second thermal regulator. So I'm going to go ahead and add this bridge right here to go ahead and make sure that this pipe is 100% full. Gaps are not helping keep the system cool. So we'll go ahead and make sure that it's running at peak efficiency. It's already going to be pretty close to not working at peak efficiency. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then we'll come check back in a little bit on that sucker. Looks like they're doing great with the ladders. My dupes are super skilled up, but they just can't handle it morale-wise. Actually, they're doing better than I thought they were, and it's probably because they're eating really good food. Nature Reserve, that's good. Great Hall, that's great. I was working on this, and I don't know what I did wrong with it. There it is, Recreation Room. It was too big. I had to add a tile right here because my rec room was too big. There should be a pip in here somewhere. What happened to my pip? Well, that's odd. I had a pip in here planting arbor trees, but I no longer see the pip. Interesting. Let's get that stuff swept up. Did he run out the door? I don't know what happened to that pip. Anyways, it's too warm in here right now. It's 51 degrees. It's too warm in here for those trees to grow. So that's part of the whole cooling down the base thing that we're doing. And again, it's going to take a long time to cool down this much base. I diverted some of my water from this saltwater geyser through the desalinator into these tanks. The reason I did that was when the geyser is not running, I'm going to need water, and I did not want to find myself in a situation where this small tank, that's really the problem, the small reservoir that I've allowed myself over here for the saltwater geyser is not going to last very long once the geyser goes dormant. So I wanted to make sure that I had water. Now, this is not the most efficient way to store water necessarily. 6 squares holds 5 tons of water, and 6 tiles will hold a ton of water per tile. But if I flood these, then it's actually almost twice as efficient. So I am going to go ahead and double up this. I'm going to go ahead and wall that in. Then I'm going to basically let this dump water into this whole area. If I bring it up here, then it'll basically fill up water to there. Now, if I do that, I'll need a water pump in here to get the water out later. And actually, if I look at the water pump, that's not a good place for that pipe. Stop, Lyra. We'll deconstruct that. I'll just go straight up with the pipe. Do I want to turn that off? Sure, I want to be able to turn that off. There we go. Then I can, let's go ahead and sweep this area. I can put a pump down here. soon as they're done with that, I can deconstruct that tile. Come on, guys. Get with the program. Anyways, that will create a large reservoir of water. Now that water is warm to 76 degrees. So fortunately I have insulation here. I don't want that water to hit this insulated gas pipe or gas bridge necessarily. So I guess I kind of want it to be lower than higher. I don't know. We'll see if these reservoirs are enough by themselves. Maybe. I do want to flood that, but not until the system is stable. And I can I get rid of this other thermal regulator. Okay, let's see what else. I want to build some new bedrooms. I also want to bring in some new dupes. So we have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 comfy beds and 6 regular cots. So 15, and I've only got 14 dupes. That comfy bed is unassigned. Let's see, who needs some stress love? Ruby, congratulations. That's your new bed unless you already have a good one. Ruby, you're already in a comfy bed. Alright. Who else? Max? Max, you look like you're a little stressed. There you go. Comfy bed. That allows us to bring in another dupe, so let's go ahead and do that. We shall bring in... I think Abe. We just still do a fair amount of ranching. He has a mouth breather. Geez, what is that? Double air consumption? Man, I got 2 mouth breathers and a narcoleptic. I don't even know who's worse. Yeah, we'll go ahead and go with Abe. I am going to do that thing though where Abe can't go this way. Hold on. You guys are fast now, but Abe, you are not, sir. Can't go that way. Also, Abe, you cannot go. You cannot go that way either. I think that is. Yeah, Abe, you can't go this way either. I just really don't want Abe going anywhere that's going to take him out of the base for a long period of time, or in an Atmos suit, because he's just going to crawl. Alright, my metal refinery situation didn't work out as well as I wanted to. I ended up not getting enough petroleum in the line. This is ethanol. This is a whole mess of stuff. And not a lot of anything. Crude oil mostly. I don't have enough ethanol or petroleum. So this thing has 800 kilograms of petroleum in it. This thing has 127 kilograms of petroleum in it. And this pipe spaghetti didn't work the way I wanted it to. Basically what I wanted it to do was to be able to fill up both of these, but I just don't have, I think I just don't have enough in the line. I had this tank here that was supposed to end up with some petroleum in it, and it did not. So I don't have any more petroleum. As you see, everything that I'm running around here with is just crude oil and ethanol. So for me to get more petroleum, I need to create a petroleum distillery again. I guess I could do that. How big is that thing? Refinement. An oil refinery to get me petroleum. It's pretty big. Too big for most of the spots I have over here. Can do it over here. I think that's what I'll do. I'll do it here. And then we'll do some plumbing. I guess like so. That works, which will then give me some petroleum, which I will put into there. We'll see if that works. Hopefully that will work. However, I have just trapped a dupe. Plastic. Iron, no, what's that? That is granite. We will make a tile out of granite. There you go, Gossman. Free and clear, my friend. Welcome back. Alright, yeah, keep it up. So my dupes have worked pretty fast. If you see them running around, and there's some more stairs we can turn into plastic. That's what happens when you're into cycle almost 600. Alright, my oxygen production is almost completely handled by these two oxygen systems over here. So I've got 4 electrolyzers running. I have this system here, the rusty oxidizers, but it only runs if the pressure runs low. In other words, if something happens to one of my other gas systems, oxygen systems, then and only then will these kick in. This seems to work pretty well, what I've got here, with the 2 dash assault vines, an algae terrarium to scrub the carbon dioxide, and a deodorizer to scrub any polluted oxygen that gets in here. This has been working pretty well for me to keep my base from getting flooded with chlorine. As you can see, if you recall from the even as late into the game as like cycle 200, I had a real big problem with chlorine up into like my bathroom level of my base. It was bad. I still have a lot of carbon dioxide. I actually was really low on carbon dioxide at one point. I had oxygen down here in my slickster room, and I ended up throwing down this petroleum generator that I had removed at one point. I ended up throwing down this petroleum generator again, just because I needed more carbon dioxide, and my power system was getting pretty taxed. It was running really well when these were tuned up, but if they didn't tune up for whatever reason, and these went from 1200 down to 800, they're normal, I was having some real struggles with power. Yeah, we're down here at 6.5 kilograms per tile. Yeah, it's pretty low. I'm actually curious to know. Well, it's active again. It's been active for 20 cycles and it's slowly dropping. So yeah, I will run out of gas over there. My power demands have just gone up. I did put a petroleum generator over here in an attempt to alleviate some of that, but I ran out of petroleum. The petroleum that's coming in here was just coming out of this reservoir, which was being filled by my slicksters, basically. So this petroleum generator did not run very often. Actually, that reservoir was full, so for a while it ran very often, but now it doesn't run pretty much at all. But this one runs when it needs to. It's got some, it's on the same power grid. Everything's on the same power trunk. It's on the same power grid. It just has its own smart battery. And when it goes down to 10%, this one kicks in. I could turn that up, maybe 30%, which is what I think we're at over here. And then I could run the petroleum generator more often. But I honestly don't really want all of that carbon dioxide. I'm pretty much at the limit of what I can consume with all my slicksters. My slicksters are literally the only thing consuming carbon dioxide in my base. I had a carbon skimmer. Yeah, I've got one right here, but it's been disabled for a really long time. That's where he went. I've been looking for this morb. We're going to go ahead and trap him. I want him down here, like really bad. There we go. I need that down here to feed my my puffs. If you look at the gas overlay here, it's mostly carbon dioxide. It's not polluted oxygen, which is what it should be down here. There's a little bit of polluted oxygen in here coming off of this water. I thought that it went by the surface area of the water, so I spread out all this polluted oxygen, and I do see it, or this polluted water. I do see it outgas every once in a while, but I honestly think it's by mass, not by surface area. So I'm not sure when it does outgas how much polluted oxygen it's outgassing. But not enough, anyways, for all these puffs. So, what does he eat? Yeah, he does nothing over here. Eats carbon dioxide. So, yeah, the carbon dioxide in this area, it's not doing anybody any good. I really need to get more polluted oxygen over here. Morb doesn't produce much, but it's better than none. My mushroom farm is doing great, but I don't think I have a lot of slime left. I have 4 tons of slime left and 8 tons of algae left. So I need to produce more slime. And the only way I know of to produce slime is to feed puffs polluted oxygen. And as we know, that's not working great for me down here. So we'll see how that works out. And over here, I am constantly dropping puffed princes. I guess 2 puffed princes at max. Let's see. He's glum, but they're both tame. Anyways, the puffed princes, when they're glum, don't they they consume less. So the whole point in having them in here is to turn chlorine into oxalate. But when they're glum, they produce less material. So I think they're producing less oxalate. I just don't understand why they're glum. Maybe it's because they're not being groomed constantly, even though they're tame. I don't know. I wish it would tell you why they're glum. Like, do this to make them less glum. All right, what else have we got? I had a problem here with my atmosuit docks because when I connected these this power line up here, this was open, and I had a bunch of people dropping atmosuit docks, and it looks like I'm still having that problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and like deliver suits here and see what happens. I guess there's only one suit there. Cancel that request. That's fine. Maybe they can put that suit up where it belongs. Maybe. Okay, what else have we got? My grill is down here, and I don't really think it's a great place for my grill. Although the food that drops out of it is in carbon dioxide, which is sterile, which is good. I have to have a dupe and an atmosuit to cook food, and this cooking station is way up here, the grill, and this gas range is way down here. Yeah, I'm just not sure where I want that though, because this thing spits out a bunch of carbon dioxide. So that's the real reason why it's down here. But maybe if I had a dedicated cooking room that was atmospherically sealed, that could be a project for another time. So that's sort of the almost cycle 600 recap of where we're at, and that's plenty of recording for today. I'm going to edit this down, and we'll get back into our next big infrastructure project, which will be right over here, our new power station and our sour gas boiler. And that is, again, because my power demands keep going up, and I need a new power station. And in order to fuel that new power station, I'm going to need more natural gas, even though I've got a large reserve here and another natural gas guys that I haven't tapped up here. My power demands are definitely going to be going up, especially if I want to continue to effectively cool this space. Yeah, all right. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in to watch this 600 cycle summary. Until next time, this is Nom Nom, signing out.